Stellar and Luxo. That's a bold statement to make in regards to a possible collaboration. Is there really something going on here? The answer is yes. I feel as though that there is something solid that is going to be coming into fruition in the coming months. Now, you won't see an official statement from Stellar or Luxo in that regard, but I want to jump into today's outline and show you my hypothesis on why I believe that this is definitely happening. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. Let's listen to this, whether you are a Stellar holder or a Luxo holder or you hold both. So just to give you a little background, I covered this whole thing of Stellar and, for example, Gateway FM about 2 months ago. The video is in the catalog for Maximus Crypto towards the bottom right hand side of the screen. It's the second from the bottom right, as you can see in this video catalog. With that said, we're going to jump into some key things. Stick around to the end of the outline. You want to hear about this. Why is that? Well, let's jump into the outline. So what we have right here is a key reposting, if you will, because X calls it that now, from this particular lady, okay? And her name is Lindsay Posh, if I'm pronouncing it right. Might be Poss. So she mentions in this reposted X post from Stellar, embrace the chain. The future has room for us all. This is what happens when marketing teams meet. CAD Crypto is a style babe, all right? CAD Crypto is a person that's really into Luxo, for example. Now, I understand for some people to say, man, this is a stretch, but why would Stellar repost this? And some people have that attitude, well, they repost a lot of things. Doesn't mean they're working together. Hey, I get that. I'm with you. I'm ahead of you on that. But what caught my eye was some of the things that were mentioned, okay? So for one, you see Luxo and Stellar tagged here. And as I got more into it, I said to myself, man, there's got to be something. You know, sometimes they just don't post things and it means nothing. And how do we know this? It's because in the past, we've seen some things similar. And then you see some things come into fruition in regards to collaborations. That's why I'm bringing this to you guys. So, going to full screen this. In my last deep dive in regards to Stellar, we put a lot of focus on that particular wallet. But another big thing that was also mentioned in the same sentence was the passkeys. Web3 security meets user-friendly design. But more importantly, bringing Web2 user experience to Web3. How so? By introducing the new Stellar passkey feature, seamless Web3 smart wallet functionality, right? Through Sorbonne, right? The premier smart contract platform, the Protocol 21 upgrade. We haven't had a full rollout yet, right? We're in different phases of those rollouts. But the bottom line is this. From stellar.org, introducing that new passkey feature, why it's important. Well, again, we understand the whole thing of the smart wallet functionality on mainnet, but when we get into the nitty-gritty about this, it's the whole thing of them announcing the launch of this new passkey feature, of course, on Stellar, but it's designed to do what? Provide a familiar and secure user experience. It's an innovative, significant step forward in helping to improve the safety and security of the accessibility, of course, to the network. As you see a little bit more about this, they talk about the user experience. Luxo also boasts user experience, right? Going to Web3, and hence why their universal profiles really stand out. So is Stellar shooting themselves in the foot by only having the whole passkey feature? I don't think the answer is yes, but I think they realize what Luxo can bring to the table. How so? Let's get into a little bit more about that. So they talk about how passkey's been, you know, a new feature. It simplifies the journey of challenging many users in the complex world of Web3. Excuse me. And seamless onboarding experience that feels familiar and intuitive. This passkey feature, users can easily sign contracts, verify transactions without, or using, I should say, biometrics, eliminating the need, of course, for 2FA, which is two-factor authentication. Some people call it two-form factor. Okay, it reduces data breaches. There's benefits about all this, but the bottom line is understanding the barriers for adoption. They don't want it to be complex. Same with Luxo. They realize in order to take things to the next level, Web3, it can't be complex. So Stellar has announced passkey features that leverage user-friendly flow that mirrors the simplicity of Web 2 applications, and they believe that it's going to make it easier for everyone to transition to Web 3. As I got more into this, the new passkey feature simplifies the journey, offering seamless onboarding experience that feels significantly familiar to what people have used in the past. But the passkey feature in itself allows users to easily sign contracts, and like we said before, the whole thing of 2FA. Now, on this bottom part, they understand the complexity of it. They understand that you have to make it easier for everyone to transition, of course, to Web3. But more importantly is, will this technology be reliable, right? You can claim that you have the greatest technology, but is it reliable? So they understand the frustrations with buggy apps, dApps, and so on, and the constant errors. They feel as though that the combination of Sorbonne and SECP256R1 and passkey services ensures a reliable and efficient experience, of course, for all users. But biometric authentication, well, we've been there, we've done that, we talked about this with other projects, but what I saw was this whole thing of, for example, it has to be built with a purpose. So Stellar says that this passkey feature is more than just a technological advancement, because there's a lot of technological advancements in so many things and other blockchains and so on. But it reflects a commitment to user-centric design and a real-world impact. Stellar has a practical and transformative solution that will help bridge the gap between traditional and decentralized financial systems. By launching this Stellar passkey feature is a significant leap forward in this journey. Stellar invites early adopters and developers to explore the possibilities. How about this? Also invites them to do what? Collaborate, right? That's the bottom line. Now, is there common ground in regards to Lukso with the universal profiles? The answer is yes. How so? Look what it states here. A lot of emphasis on that data. So how is data stored on a universal profile? Again, common ground here. Each data on a universal profile is stored in a generic key value. Again, key value, common ground. ERC725Y store, which allows storing an unlimited amount of data in the smart contract. This is where people feel, wow, Lukso really stands out in regards to scalability. Well, guess what? Stellar also wants to really stand out in regards to scalability, and we talked about how they can scale with M10 through the Overledger Quant. This is not a quant outline. I want you guys to understand that I think this in itself is a big deal, and this is flying under the radar. How so? Well, a little bit more about this. Were you aware that ERC725Y standardizes a mapping of data keys to data values in order to have the ability to add and remove data across time without the need of redeploying the contract? Again, the contract. What has Stellar got themselves into? The Sorbonne Premier Smart Contract Platform, the Protocol 21 upgrade. Now, back to the whole thing of Lukso. It gives flexibility to the contract storage. On the smart contract, data keys are represented by the thing called bytes 32. Values and data values under these keys are stored as, of course, bytes. So is Stellar shooting themselves in the foot, if you will, with what they are making in regards to these passkeys? The answer is no. Now, some people say, well, the answer is yes. Hear me out. I think this is where Lukso is really going to come help with the collaboration. The two can help each other, but Lukso, if anything, will really, really stand out here. So it just makes sense to work with them. Jumping a little bit more into this, I want to share something with you in regards to all of this. So here is the common ground, okay? And what you'll see here is crucial for your understanding, and I'll blow this up a little bit. So the common ground is Gateway FM. Lukso times Gateway FM. As we know, even Stellar times Gateway FM. But the bottom line is this right here. They have stated that they were delighted to announce a strategic partnership, as in, Gateway FM, with the next generation EVM blockchain, Lukso. They will be providing public RPC endpoints for Lukso testnet and, of course, mainnet. They're excited about the collaboration, yada, yada. Now, check this out. This is also good. when we jump into the whole thing of Gateway FM and Stellar, we already been there. We already done that. But what does it say at the top? Announce its role in building public Sorbonne RPC infrastructure for Stellar. So again, common ground here. How so? Well, at least 10 times is mentioned that they're proud to provide a public Sorbonne RPC infrastructure, private data centers to facilitate network decentralization. With their free public RPC infrastructure, developers can effortlessly execute smart contracts, build dApps, basically on a Stellar Sorbonne network. And who better to understand dApps than the guy who created the ERC20 smart contract? Yes, I understand a lot of us are not big fans of that, but that is the most used smart contract in the world, whether we like it or not. And Fabian Vogelsteller created his own blockchain through what is referred to as Lukso, built on Ethereum infrastructure, but as he would say, it's like like a fancier version of Ethereum with infinite scalability. That's crazy, right? Way better tokenomics compared to for example, Ethereum, right? So the bottom line is that is not something I think we should dismiss. So I'm going to jump into some other points, and that is basically speaking a little bit more about this whole thing of RPC infrastructure. During their initial discussions, the idea of building public RPC infrastructure for Sorbonne on private data centers resonated with their team, right? Because they had a meeting at ETH Denver 2023. Do we forget about that? And it aligned them with their values and overarching strategy. Of course, they were impressed by their team's extensive technical knowledge, and there was clear synergies to connect developers, I should say, from the Stellar ecosystem, help each other grow. This other thing, spreading the RPC infrastructure across multiple independent data centers, the network becomes less reliant on one data center. Again, this is supply and demand. So these things about common ground, this is why I feel as though it simply makes sense that Stellar will work with, of course, Lukso. But is that all I have? No. And for some people who are wondering about RPC infrastructure, I want to state this. Remote Procedure Call is what it's called. Okay, RPC. It's a software communication protocol that allows a computer program to execute a function or procedure on another computer or server without the programmer explicitly coding communication details. Remember how Stellar said it was Sorbonne, only 3 lines of code? Right, that's crucial for your understanding. All right, at the end of the day, why is this significant? Well, the Remote Procedure Call, RPC, is a mechanism, as we know, that enables the programs to execute those procedures or functions. But what's really, really significant is understanding that the concept has been essential for distributed computing. More importantly, DLT, distributed ledger technologies. Why is this significant? It allows applications to communicate seamlessly across, of course, different machines. All right, that's interoperability, is it not? True. Fabian Vogelsteller talked about interoperability for the standards that he provided in regards to Lukso. Now, I want to take you over to this part. It talks about, for instance, from the Defiant, that's the name of it, Defiant.io, and I'll blow this up a little bit bigger for you guys. I meant to have that the right size. So Defiant talks about, since coming into the market, Gateway has received strong market validation from a range of top industry heavyweights. I mean, this is something that kind of flies on the radar because you never hear much about Gateway, but they're, got endorsement from Gnosis. They got endorsement from Ethereum, Near, Polygon Labs, of course, Lukso, and Stellar, right? But Gateway team had the ability, or still does, I should say, to modify the underlying tech to a specific application for the range of purposes and projects. Again, why is that so significant? Back to the original outline I made. Gateway FM focus on building decentralized RPC solutions that don't rely on centralized services such as Amazon Web Services. Remember how I talked about that this will be game changer? This will be the disruptor for Amazon Web Services. If you haven't seen that video, you owe it to yourself to take a look if you choose to do so. Now, in regards to Lukso, okay, I want to jump into this for a second because this is where they really, really come into fruition. If you go to luxo.network, universal profiles, like it says, are the smart contract account for the next era. So again, Protocol 21 upgrade, right? Not fully rolled out, Stellar still has a chance to incorporate, and even if it wasn't fully rolled out, right? The whole idea that Stellar went to like East Denver, they get it. They understand who their competition is, but if anything, they want to see who can do scalability. So, what better way to understand, to maximize your scalability than to work with a team from Luxo who gets that, right? Luxo is an Ethereum twin blockchain with a new set of standards and protocols, right? Because Fabian basically got that groundwork done. He introduced new standards. Guys, if you guys know me, I always talk about standards, especially when it comes to quant with ISO, TC307. But here is a thing I made for you guys in regards to the key differences and why I feel as though that there's common ground. So while there's key differences, understand the bigger picture. Bottom line is this. Look what it says here. Features. We were talking about Stellar's passkeys, right? Well, while that's good to recognize, it's the features. So what is the primary function of Stellar's passkeys? Well, it's authentication and authorization. What about Luxo with universal profiles? Digital identity management. The two will work hand in hand with each other. All right. Two common things that we mentioned before when it comes to universal profiles and Stellar passkeys, of course, is data storage. Well, the two do have that common ground. Stellar, on the other hand, has minimal data storage, but Luxo's universal profiles adds comprehensive data storage. All right, what's the scope for the two? Well, Stellar, through the passkeys, are primarily focused on logins, where on the other hand, Luxo's universal profiles covers a broader range of use cases. So Stellar, it's in their best interest to work with Luxo. What about the underlying tech? Well, Stellar is a layer 1. Luxo, on the other hand, is built off of Ethereum's technology. But again, Luxo is his own blockchain. So, yes, it makes sense that the two would work with each other, right? Trying to take things to the next level. All right. In my closing comments that I want to get into with you guys today is at the end of the day, what is the difference between Stellar's passkeys, of course, compared to Luxo's universal profiles? And we talked about that a little bit in regards to that particular picture I just showed you on the comparisons. But I want you guys to understand that with the Stellar passkeys, that functionality, think about this for a second. Stellar utilizes what's referred to a public key, cryptography, to create secure, basically key-based identities. And what I mean by that is these identities in itself can be used to log into various applications, services without traditional usernames and, of course, passwords. That's game changer. But the underlying tech, which you better believe is built on Stellar's blockchain network, or in this case, Sorbonne, would leverage its speed and scalability for secure key management. But if you combine that with something that has infinite scalability with Luxo, that could be absolute game changer. What about the use cases? Well, while we understand that this is primarily centered around simplifying user login experiences and improving security for decentralized applications such as dApps by providing that extra layer, if you will, with Luxo for universal profiles, well, if we're all gung-ho about Sorbonne, the premier smart contract platform for Stellar, that would turbocharge, if you will, what Stellar is offering, and I think they recognize the utility of universal profiles for the bigger picture of going to Web 2.5 to, of course, Web 3. All right, Stellar. What about Luxo? Great question. I'm with you. So the focus, of course, of comprehensive digital identity on the blockchain and creating a unique and seamless, comfortable user experience is game changer, of course, for Luxo. But again, back to the whole thing of functionality. Luxo offers a decentralized user-owned profile that can store various types of data, right? Not just one size fits all, but it includes personal information, digital assets, and credentials. And that part right there, digital assets. Last I checked, Stellar has had a campaign, if you will, of the tokenization of digital assets. And while they're interoperable with many different things like the overledger and so on through Quant, they want to keep working and keep scaling. This is a fit for them. All right, a little bit more about the use cases. With Luxo, they encompass a wider range of applications, as we know, but definitely includes identity management, digital asset ownership. So again, back to the example from Stellar, tokenized digital assets enter in, for example, Luxo with what? Digital asset ownership and decentralized governance. You can have the two come together and complement each other. We understand there's key differences. We already got into that. But in essence, these two things I want to close with. Stellar's passkeys are like digital keys that grant access to different online spaces. Very true. That's what makes them stand out. But Luxo's universal profiles are like a comprehensive digital identity that can hold various assets and information. So, will this be like having a different key to a sense, but in some cases, eliminating the need to have keys altogether, right? There will be reasons to have keys and there will be reasons to not have them. I think Stellar understands that. How so? In closing, while both solutions contribute to the advancement of blockchain technology in itself, don't get it twisted. They address different aspects of the user experience. Both put focus on just that, the user experience. Can't be buggy. What's the point of having all this tech if people aren't going to want to sit through using it because it's too hard to use? Enter in, coming in off the boat of Robinhood and going straight to Uniswap. That was pretty intimidating, right? Most people don't do it, and as a result, they didn't get those gains. But it's possible that in the future, these concepts might converge or complement each other to create even more robust and user-friendly solutions. I don't think it's a possibility. I think it's there because we've seen in the past many times where stellar.org or Stellar in itself on X will do a little snippet, a little tweet, and you see things months down the line come into fruition. I'm calling it right now. I think it's a matter of time that this happens. It simply makes sense. So with that said, hopefully I earned your subscription. If you're new, smash that like on your way out. Thanks for listening to today's outline. We will see you on the next one. Some of you guys ask what cold storage solution I use. I use this, and it is the Decent wallet. All right. I also, of course, have a ledger like this. All right. You can get a discount basically from going into the affiliate link, which is in all the live video descriptions and recorded and so on. And for the yahoos that are out there, they're like, this is just a shield. And, we'll point this out. And it's a great point. Were you aware that you don't necessarily get a discount link just going straight to the site? No, you actually have to go through a platform like this. So how cool is that? I don't think anybody's complaining about that. But anyway, use the link, get a discount. There's another one here. If you're the type of person you want to get one for you and your significant other, you can get two of them. They actually have another promotion, which is this, and I think this is cool. You can get an all-in-one card wallet plus backup card package. Interesting. I thought that was cool. And again, one of the main key things I like about the Decent wallet is not having to do the red tape of jumping through all the hoops for XDC and the custom folder. I mean, Edward Vincent can vouch on that. Some of you guys can too as well in regards to Ledger. That was a pain in the butt. You don't have that problem. You literally open up your phone, it's on your app, track everything that's going on, right? And saying goes, not your keys, not your crypto. You know the drill. Check it all out though if you wish to do so. It is truly the cold storage solution that I use for the most part. There's still some on Ledger that I kind of split it up on it and so on. So it is what it is. But if I have preference over one, I'm going with this one. A lot easier to use and so on. And some people, even to this day, still ask me which one to use.